Hope your Thursday is going well so far. I'm Carl Azus, and we're glad to have you watching CNN Student News. Recent swings in the U.S. stock market are violent. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, one indicator of how the whole market is doing, closed down 173 points yesterday. At one point, it had dropped 460 points. We've told you how when investors are afraid, they tend to sell, dropping the value of stocks in the market. What are they afraid of? For one thing, Germany, Europe's largest economy, isn't doing well. For another, American retail sales decreased, and so did prices. Those are bad signs for the economy's health. Another reason investors are fearful, the possible spread of the deadly Ebola virus in the U.S. A second nurse at a Dallas, Texas hospital has contracted the disease. Like Nina Pham, whom we told you about earlier, 29-year-old Amber Vinson helped treat a Liberian man who died last week from Ebola. Vinson had traveled to Ohio recently. The CDC says she wasn't officially allowed to travel on a commercial plane, but it says the risk to others is low since Vinson didn't have symptoms when she went. Meanwhile, America's largest nurses union is strongly criticizing health officials, including the CDC, over how they've handled Ebola. It says the Dallas nurses didn't have the supplies or the training they needed, and that they feel lied to and deserted to handle their own situation. The CDC says it's committed to the nurses' safety and giving them what they need to safely manage Ebola patients. Also, President Obama postponed a Democratic campaign trip yesterday. Instead, he met with cabinet agencies to discuss the government's response to Ebola. One thing that's spreading faster than the disease is the fear of it.
A scene out of a disaster movie. First responders in hazmat gear board an Emirates flight from Dubai and checked 5 passengers with flu-like symptoms. None met the criteria for Ebola or had visited Africa. At LAX, 40 firefighters respond to a passenger with flu-like symptoms. But that's where the scare ends.
It has turned out that there was some miscommunication, that this patient had been to the continent of Africa, but not near West Africa.
Ebola has not, repeat, not spread through the U.S., but fear certainly has. In Nashville, Tennessee, a sick passenger was taken off a plane that originated in Dallas. The patient had no contact with anyone with Ebola or traveled to Africa. In Richmond, Virginia, a patient with a low-grade fever who had traveled to Africa is isolated, even though the clinic says they don't believe it's Ebola. The CDC says it's been getting 800 calls and emails daily about Ebola. Each scare stretches first responders and can cost taxpayers thousands of dollars. And flu season has barely begun.
People will take this one in stride, but it takes a while. It takes longer if you tell them they're panicking.
What makes this societal learning curve worse, says Sandman, is early on. The CDC chief insisted everything was under control. Then the nurse in Dallas contracted the disease.
What he didn't say is it's going to be harder than people imagine. It's going to be harder than we imagine. So now people are angry at the CDC, and that anger is sort of morphing into fear.
On today's roll call, we're traveling from the state of Idaho to the Central American nation of Costa Rica. In the Gem State, the Crusaders are on today's roll. Their request came in from the city of Caldwell. In Frisco, Texas, say hello to the Rangers. Lone Star High School's on patrol. And in Escazú, Costa Rica, just west of the capital of San Jose, we've got the Panthers online at the Country Day School. Reservoirs in some parts of California are down to 36% of their capacity. Lakes are drying up, ponds are empty, lawns and gardens are dying. And as the state's historic drought enters another year, many farmers are seeing the worst of it. The state government has reduced the flow of irrigation water to the Central Valley, and as crops are lost, so are jobs. Some farmers have resorted to buying water in order to keep their crops and businesses alive. Limits are being set on how much water people are allowed to use in a given day. Go over the line, pay a fine. Dan Simon tested the limit.
With California's 3-year drought, cities are trying to come up with ways to get people to save water. Santa Monica wants to limit each person to 68 gallons per day. Use any more, and you could get hit with a penalty. So it got me thinking, how much water do I use every day? Can I stay within 68 gallons? So using a few cameras, I decided to document my daily use.
I guess we're really doing this.
For this one day, I estimated I used 125 gallons, almost twice the amount advocated in Santa Monica. And that doesn't even include things like watering the grass. So what are some things you can do? Well, for one, experts say you should take shorter showers, and you can buy inexpensive water-saving shower heads that are easy to install. Also, turn off the water after you wet your toothbrush. Use your dishwasher and clothes washer for only full loads, and keep a bottle of drinking water in the fridge. After all, a running tap is wasteful. Those are the kinds of things that everyone should be thinking about, especially those of us suffering through a drought.
Time for the shout out. What does a genealogist study? If you think you know it, shout it out. Is it ancestry, gemstones, mythology, or rock formations? You've got 3 seconds. Go. Genealogy is the study of family histories and ancestries. That's your answer, and that's your shout out.
Studying your own ancestry is like going back in time and to places you've never been. Mine has taken me to Spain, Italy, France, England, Russia, some by way of Ellis Island, New York. CNN's Roots Project followed some of our anchors, like Anderson Cooper, on genealogical journeys. His father, Wyatt Cooper, died when Anderson was 10 years old.
Back in 2005, when I was in New Orleans reporting in the wake of Hurricane Katrina, completely by coincidence, I stumbled across my dad's old high school. It had been flooded during the storm. This is the school now.
Swing to the right.
We were invited to take a look around. The people who work at the school said they had old files, but I couldn't imagine they'd have any of my dad's. Wow, look at this. They showed me closets full of old records and posters dating all the way back to the 1940s. They moved back after the war. I couldn't find anything that belonged to my dad. As I was leaving, the school nurse came outside with a surprise for me.
Oh my God!
This is his photo.
All over. That's him. Good. There you go.
Oh my God, that's so sweet.
I love you.
Oh, that's so nice. My dad's report card. It's crazy. Can you believe that they had my dad's report card all the way going back to 1944? They just had it in a file somewhere in the back. That's awesome.
My feelings about what I want my sons to be.
A couple months ago, Clock Tower Radio restored an interview my father did back in 1975.
My relationships with my sons, which are both quite extraordinary. I mean, my relationship with each son is quite extraordinary.
I listened to it in my office at work. It was the first time I'd heard my father's voice since I was 10 years old.
They asked me questions like Anderson asked, how much does a stuntman make? Because that's what he would like to be now, you know.
The thing about the past is one can't help what zip code one was born in, what country or family you're descended from. All you can do is learn the lessons of those who came before you, their stories, their mistakes, and their successes. You can't choose what family you're born into.
My sons are very aware that I have certain expectations.
All you can really do is choose how you want to live your own life.
They will behave with honor and with dignity.
We've covered how drones are used in the military, how they're used in space, how they shoot some of the video you see on our show. Today we're just having a little fun with them. A few drones, a path through a forest, a little bit of speed. What more do you need? This reminded all of us of the speeder bikes racing through the woods in Star Wars. But unlike speeders, at least these drones don't crash. Oh wait, well that kept me from droning on about it. After the wreck, the whole race went down the drone. Maybe they should have quad while they were ahead. They weren't out of the woods yet, but you gotta give them props for meeting the need for speed. I'm Carl Azus, hope to see you Friday.